Different shapes and sizes, high, low horizon.
We are live.
We are live.
Clouds in the distance.
Hey, everybody.
Hey!
Welcome to Conversations Overheard
Good evening,
on this
America.
beautiful Tuesday evening.
Yes, yes.
The weather in
Hi,
Chicago is
everybody.
fantastic.
It is.
Unbelievable.
Indian summer
is.
is real
Yes, it
in
is.
Chicago.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. That's why we're all sit. Well, we are sitting here in tank tops because it's so nice out,
It is right. We're gonna soak this thing up.
right? And it's gonna be nice out tomorrow. So if
Yeah.
you're in Chicago, get out and enjoy that sunshine because you
we
know
are.
it's all
Vitamin D.
ending. They're
Free
talking about
vitamin
45 inches of snow
Tomorrow. No. Just kidding.
tomorrow afternoon.
During rush hour.
Right. Oh, Lord. Okay, guys, listen, we are here tonight. We are talking about cheaters.
We are talking about cheaters.
You see how we look at you, Gary?
I mean, I'm
He's the expert. He's our expert tonight.
You know, I'm not going to own the expert part, but, you know, there certainly was a part of my life where I thought I was really good at it. And
Why'd you think you were really good at it?
I couldn't stop. I mean, I was compulsed, you know. I mean, it was like, I just.
Were you like young 20s?
No, this was no. All the way up until, you know, my 40s, I was pretty prolific cheater.
Did you get caught?
Yeah.
So what? So you still thought you were good at it even though you got caught?
I mean, if you look at it again, going back to the numbers, I got caught probably like 2 times out of, you
The
know,
1,800 times.
I'm not going to put a number to it, but it was, you know, I certainly, you know, my ratio would have been good.
He's selective with his numbers.
I mean, a lot is a number.
All right. Okay, Gary.
Comes after 10.
But I mean, some of the stuff that I really found out about me, and then I'll talk about it in general, was that, you know, there was a point where I had to kind of make a decision. Is that who I want to be?
There you go.
Because, you know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, while most people cheat, I believe that there is a segment of the population that are just cheaters. You know, one of the common things that you hear all the time is that, you know, he's rich, he's beautiful, she's beautiful. Why would this person cheat? And some people,
Very true.
I believe that, you know, and I mean, I don't have any science behind this, but I believe that some people are just cheaters.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what they have.
I agree.
Who they have.
I agree.
But
Do you believe in the old adage, once a cheater, always a cheater?
no, because I mean, to say that would, you know, that doesn't give credence to what I just said, which
He's
is
a
that.
changed man.
Well, no, it's not even about me, but just, you know, cheaters as a species. I mean, I think that, you know, if you are one, I don't think that you can change. But I think that people get to points in their lives where they realize that, you know, the most basic thing, what I'm risking to get is not what I'm risking
Right.
to lose.
Right.
So that sounds like you didn't really answer the question, though. It sounded like you said no at first, and then you said yes, and then you kind of...
At this point in my life, for me, it's not something that I care.
Not you, just the old adage.
Overall.
Yeah.
Do we believe that certain people are?
Do you believe that some, you know,
That
that the
people,
old
once a
adage,
cheater, always a
that
cheater.
once
No,
you,
I do not.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay.
I think that, you know,
I don't think so either.
I think that a cheater is always going to cheat, but I think that a person that ventures outside of their relationship, there's hope.
So is the person who ventures outside of their relationship not a cheater?
No, because I'm saying I've given a name to that segment of the population that is just, you know, just serial habitual cheaters. They're always going to cheat.
I feel like Gary's speaking a different language that I don't understand.
Oh, okay, so let me. I don't want to speak for you,
Okay.
but I definitely don't want to be that person that asks someone a question and answers it, or asks a man his opinion and then tries to get inside the mind of a man, because I can't do that. But I can.
Not a lot going on. You're welcome to come inside.
I know. I know. I can see through your.
You heard what I was thinking.
So no, I think that sometimes people make mistakes, but sometimes people have a pattern of behavior that is just something that you just can't, like, I've been cheated on. I think by a person that I just thought made a mistake. I've been cheated on by a person that's a pattern of behavior, and that's just something I just can't rock with. So so I think that there is the difference. So I think you're saying that some
We're
people
saying
make
the
a
same.
pattern of make it a pattern. This is what they do,
Yes.
as opposed to like a slip up.
Yes.
So I'll say this: like years ago, I went on a ski trip with at that time my boyfriend, and what I had noticed was, and the ski trip was around a big holiday, and I noticed that all the guys that were on the ski trip weren't with their wives or their girlfriends; they were with other people, and I was just like, wow. What kind of trip is this? You know what I mean? But I just wondered, like, kind of what you had said earlier, like, how do you
Get away.
get away? How do you
On-
say, I'm going on this ski trip on this holiday, you can't come? And
it was a holiday.
it was that holiday, it was a holiday weekend. So
I
it's
think we
just
need to
kinda
give
like,
that a
how
little
does
bit
that
more
happen?
context because there's some landmark holidays. I could probably get away on Easter, but I couldn't get away on
But
Christmas.
was it on the holiday?
New
Or was it
Year's.
New
was
Year's.
it the weekend after or before the holiday?
I don't know, it was many years ago.
Okay,
but it
that's
was,
true.
But
Yeah.
but there's there are a couple of landmark holidays that
Holidays.
that I that's that's what I'm talking about, or that's what I'm meaning. That how do you get away on Christmas? How do you get away? It's kind of hard to get away on
Valentine's
Mother's
Day.
I was about to say,
Valentine's
how do you do
Day.
Yeah.
that? Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it's but I mean Arbor Day, book the trip. I'm there.
Columbus Day.
Columbus Day, I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
Got you, boo.
Yeah, but
Right.
it would be very difficult, in any relationship to get away on one of those days. To me,
Yeah.
you mentioned something else that I want to talk about a little bit. In the group dynamic where there's a group of a friends group and we kind of interact. We do different events. We travel. We hang out. We watch the football game. And this is my rule with all of my friends: you get one. I don't care which one it is. You can bring your wife or you can bring the other woman. But once you bring one, you don't get to bring other people. You can't do that.
Interchange.
You can't, you
Switch
you,
them out.
You stuck with her.
Okay, so wow, the wife should supersede everything, though, don't you think?
I'm not judging. I'm not, in that situation. I would hope that the pressure of only bringing one would lead you to the right decision. But I can't make anybody do anything. But I can strongly advise you to follow the rules.
I could.
Like you said you went on a ski trip. I went to the boating thing, the playpen.
Mm-hmm.
The playpen is a big Chicago. All the black boaters put their boats together. And I shouldn't say the black boaters because everybody who has a
Yeah.
boat in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
the black boaters are usually like in a row. But it's a big boating event. Everybody kind of hooks their boats together and you just kind of boat hop, and it is fun. So when I went, I was married. And I went with a couple of my sorority sisters, and lo and behold, it was like I saw a handful of my, at the time, husband's frat brothers out there with women that were not their wives. I was like this. And then they would see me and just like freeze, as if they didn't move, I wouldn't see them. Because they were not with the person that I know that whose rings match. And I was like,
Right.
oh. And some of these girls were literally so young that I was like looking in the crowd to see if it was my daughter's friends. They were that young. So I was talking to a few of the other moms, and
That's alarming.
we were like, are these Jack and Jill kids? Oops, I shouldn't have said that. We were looking and like making sure we didn't know any of these because they were babies. We were like, oh my gosh. So yeah,
I want to defend men here too, because I mean, if you all are making it seem like it's always the men that are bringing the
That's true.
others, and I have actually been on a girls' trip where none of them had their quote unquote significant others, and it's like man, they was just loud and wild. They was doing their thing.
So the women had brought their side piece men, their guys.
Yep.
Were you the side piece man? Is that why you were? Is that
That's
why
a
you were invited?
horrible term. I mean, I don't,
You're
I don't like to
you're like, it's not about
compartmentalize.
me.
I don't like to compartmentalize things
I'm
like
wondering,
that.
I'm like,
I was there to on business actually.
You were catering?
Yeah, I was definitely doing some catering.
He was serving it up.
But it was
Hot and
but
spicy.
I want to put it out there because it's not just men. Men are not doing all of the cheating. And if someone out there is listening, they're probably like, my husband can't go on any more trips. It's only the men that cheat. And it's like, well, women get in here too. And all of these women were, super high powered, uber professional.
Well,
and
the women on those trips, even with the men who are married or in a relationship, they're cheating too.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But it was a group of women, and it seemed like I don't know, they must have had a memo because they were all kind of on the same thing. It was a whole group of them.
They brought their men, or the men met them out there. I was just
The
curious.
men met them out there. They flew out there, and then there were two of the guys that kind of came out, and they made like sort of a golf trip because they were dating two of the girls.
so you made a good point. You said that, in your group of friends, you only get one. And I can understand why that might be important. Because guys, and maybe women too, usually have a type. And so I made the mistake one time, and I was like, yeah, you remember last year when we were, but they look just
I've done
alike.
that. I did
The
that
women
too.
look just
I did
alike.
that. I did that too with somebody that you both know.
And I was just, and she was like,
like, hey, girl.
what? I didn't go last year.
Same thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
But
I could understand why.
And to that point, that was how I actually not got busted cheating because I really didn't care. But it was a situation where I was telling this young lady that I was seeing. I was like, "No, you saw that movie with me," and she's like, "No, I didn't." I'm like, "You a damn lie! You saw that movie with me," and it was like, "I didn't," and I was kind of
And then
busted.
you realized.
I just stood on it. I'm like, "Are you sure?"
That was my sister. What was I thinking of? I took my sister to
No,
the
you know
movie.
what? I mean, and this is the thing about one of the functions of cheating is that it involves lies. And here's the thing that you need to know about lying. Lying always, one lie begets another. You can
Yes.
never tell one lie.
Facts.
So, and the truth is constant because it happened. So, there's not a lot of detail with the truth. I wasn't there. It wasn't me. That's the truth. A lie is, now see what had happened was, and then if you, carry the two and add the four. So with a lie, if you're going to lie, tell one lie.
Right.
And if you, just stand on it.
Right.
Don't get to adding details and have a whole nother chapter in the
There's
book.
no one, you're not going to remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not etched in your mind. Yeah.
But I always wondered how people, your earlier point of how do you get away on Valentine's Day? Like remarkable to me.
I don't think can you really do that? I don't think you can. I mean, I think that people,
I had to work late. It was, I don't think you plan but you pull a move. Yeah, my car broke down.
I know one of the ways to get away on Valentine's Day.
How?
Start an argument.
That's like 5th grade.
I know he's gonna say it was a rookie move.
Right. Sorry.
I don't want to go out. Everybody's all there. Everything, the price of everything is higher on Valentine's Day. Let's go out the week before we're gonna celebrate. I want to go somewhere really nice. I want to just have you all to myself. I don't want to be worried about all of that other stuff. And we're gonna let the amateurs go out on Valentine's Day. You and I are gonna go out, the week before. What's that place that you wanted to go to? That's one way to get out.
So you take your main person.
Early or
Early.
late. Early, no. You
Early.
can't do late because late will get you busted.
Yeah.
But
You take your
early.
main person early, and then the person that you're cheating with, you.
I mean, when you're cheating, you probably shouldn't.
I'm like,
be.
can you
Valentine's Day is like high value, so you can get
Yeah.
busted. That's easier to get busted, but you can be away. And nowadays, you can order some really, really, really good stuff, or you could, if you knew a personal chef, say, you could have that person drop off a nice meal somewhere, and that would be a way to hide out and lay low. But you wouldn't. That's too visible to be anywhere.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if you're cheating with someone, they're really is probably not a person you want to be seen with, so you don't want to go out with them.
You don't want to go out,
Like
but you
that.
can still be with that person. You can
Right.
still, like I said, and you can definitely, have one of your catering people bring a really, really nice meal in, and
And I think that people who are cheating, like, typically they get to their main person at the end of the night, but they fit in everybody else at the beginning because they can't be out all night. So they just, have gone through the deck, and then, all right, now I'm home. All right, sorry I'm so late. I had all these things to do. Whatever it is.
yeah.
I can see that.
That's how that goes.
But
So then the person who they're cheating with feels like, well, he was here from 5:30 to 7, and we spent Valentine's Day.
I mean, it's like I said, the problem, the problem with me for cheating is the lies.
Yeah.
Because one lie begets another, and before I look up, I started off with one lie, now I got a chapter, and now I'm at a book. But that book can become a novel, so it's like, no, I'm good.
And I don't care how good you are at cheating. There is a sixth sense somewhere in that other person's mind that something isn't quite right. Now, whether they listen to it or not, they may be like, whatever. But everything doesn't always add up, no matter how smooth you are. Because that was smooth about, let the amateurs have, that
Right.
night.
Right.
That was skillful.
Make it worth your while. Hey, what was that place that you want to really go to? Or
Right.
that place I said I couldn't afford. Because you can't be a broke cheater either. You got to put some money
That's
into
true.
it.
Well, I'll say this. At this age, we have learned to trust our inner voices.
Yes.
We are too old not to listen to our inner voices, and that gut, that intuition, or whatever you want to call it, inner voice, angel on your shoulder, whatever it is, we listen to it. And we, not just women, but men too, and we know that when something is off, it's, when there's smoke, there's fire. We
Absolutely.
know. Yeah, we know.
I believe in you ladies' talent, both you two together.
But don't you feel
and
that
as
way?
the species. But I think it's a lot more simpler than that. I think that a lot of the ways that men get caught cheating is they change their routine.
Absolutely.
Women watch your routine. All of a sudden you got new drawers, or you dressing up on
You're
Mondays.
super
or,
busy. You going to bed
Right,
early,
or
early,
you just
early.
That's part of that sixth sense.
You
Yeah.
getting off the phone, but
Yeah.
it's a break in the routine, and that's the genius of a lot of time when a woman. Because you had a cheater that I don't care if you know, and
Yeah.
you had a cheater that I'm trying to conceal this.
Right.
Right.
So the concealer is the person. If a woman cheats, and if she don't want you to know, she doesn't break her routine. If you think that she's going to the gym while at work, and that's the reason that she has a change of clothes. She never even went to work, and you never knew the difference. Women are more adept at not breaking routine if they don't want to be caught. Because I think that when a woman doesn't care, whatever, so what of it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you're right. I feel like women are definitely more thoughtful and mindful and probably methodical. They aren't lazy and careless and, dropping breadcrumbs around like, I'm over here.
But women have things that are available to them that that are not available to men. Like my father always told a story of, man, that woman is not going to break her routine, but she could get you to break yours. Like you could call a woman and be like, hey, man, my hey, my husband is, my husband is gone. Or no, I could call her and be like, hey, my wife is gone. Come on over. I got 2 hours. You can be here in 15 minutes, out in 30. And she will promptly tell you, you need to call me when you have more time. Mm-hmm. A woman could call you, or not you, but a woman could call a man, not all men, but a man, and be like, hey, my husband is gone for 2 hours, gone slide.
He lacing up right then and there. Right?
I'm outside, girl. let me in. So women have options that are not available. Men, we tend to be like, for real? 2 hours? It ain't gonna even take me that long. You know me, girl. So
oh my gosh.
It's there are things that are available to a woman that are not available to a man. And generally, because we're not talking about all, but generally, a woman is gonna, she's gonna err on the side of caution. Mm-hmm. She's gonna be like, 2 hours. Why don't you send her out of town and we can spend the whole day together? So women are they're a little bit more adept at it, and they are a little bit better at it and less risk taking.
I don't think that women cheat the same way or for the same reasons as men do. For instance, a man may be like, yeah, I got the one I want. I got her. Yeah, that's my girl. That's my woman. That's my wife. And that's all he really wants to have. But you send him on a trip and it's like, well, I'm on vacation. Nobody gave him a hall pass, but he's taking them. And they don't see like anything wrong with it. It's almost just like giving someone who's an addict, just dangling some drugs in front of them, or some candy for somebody who just is addicted to sugar.
Who's on the diet.
Well, or just want some sugar. Not necessarily just on the diet. But yeah. And they just don't have the wherewithal in them. They don't have the power to say, no, I don't want that. Because they do want that. And if they do say no, it's not because they don't want it. It's just because they're trying to be good. When a woman is more like, I'm with my person, that's who my heart belongs to, that's who my body belongs to. I don't want to share it with anybody else. Now, for a woman to get to the point that she's cheating, I think that the relationship has pretty much fell apart. And she has probably tried, in your terms, squawking probably to no end, trying to communicate her feelings and be validated, and probably was silenced. You know what I mean? Where she probably feels, right, it's pretty much
because by the time we stop squawking, when we stop squawking, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. But I think women will cheat. And I don't think this is anything new. I think most women will cheat for emotional reasons. Like, we need to feel a certain way because we're not being made to feel a certain way anymore. Whereas men will cheat because she got a big old ass and I want that. I have my 80% at home, but there's 20%. I want a little bit of that too. So and it's silly to me because I think men will risk their 80% for the 20%.
But she had a fat ass.
It's ridiculous.
That's not even yours. It's not even like you. You may even.
I'm not saying. I'm joking about that part of it.
But it's true. What she's saying is true. They'll put everything on the line that matters to them for something that absolutely
really doesn't matter.
But
or matters very little.
For 10 minutes.
I want to preach the good news too. I think that there is a part in life where man, you see that as good behavior. I'm going to do what I want to do. Why not? The game owes me this. I'm making up for lost time. Whatever that man's justification might be. But I do think that men get to a point where most men get to a point where they're like, you know what? I'm gonna make this work, or I'm gonna do this. The same way with marriage. It's that time. It's that season. Let me move into that area and see, do this to the best of my ability. Mm-hmm. So I think that the cheating for some men is something that they can outgrow. And I'm not saying that all men are cheaters. Some people.
No, I don't think all men are.
Some men, some men get it from birth.
Some men just they have a sense of entitlement. that they feel like I'm
That's true.
entitled to have this and that. And I want it. I don't want to deny myself. Some people just cannot deny themselves of anything. But let me ask you this: do you think that as a man, if you have been caught cheating and you reconcile and work it out with that woman, do you lose respect for her for
It's a very good question.
forgiving you or trying to work it out with you?
No.
Do you feel like, oh, she took me back? I can. This is easy. I can cheat again.
No, no, I don't feel that way at all. I think that, if you're serious about being back with that person and saying that, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, I think that you can get to a point where, you don't take that person for granted and you appreciate the opportunity. Part of it has to be.
Is that how you really feel, or is that just
No, I mean, this is.
Okay.
Propaganda.
No, this is how I really feel. I mean, I think that
Fake
you have to
news.
get to. I think that you have to get to a point where you appreciate a person giving you a second chance. If you don't
Yeah.
respect the second chance, then it's hard to respect the person.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because then
It makes sense, but it
because-
doesn't make sense.
What doesn't
what
make
doesn't
sense?
make sense?
Like on paper, that sounds absolutely wonderful.
he said?
Yes.
Yeah.
In real life, that doesn't. I don't think that works.
I'm sorry.
I feel like if you don't feel, for instance, if a child does something bad and they don't get in trouble for it, they get to go outside, they get to go to the parties, they get to ride their bike, they get to have. There's no punishment for it. There's nothing that they have to sacrifice. There's no timeout. There's no let me figure out what I did wrong. There's no remorse really. Saying I'm sorry and being sorry are two different things. One is to pacify you, and the other one is something that you feel like if I could go back and like in time, I wouldn't do that same thing again. I'm not sure if you just take someone back, and I think it's subconscious. I don't think that the man says, you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna do the exact same thing to her. I don't think
Let
they
another big ass walk past.
exactly. I don't think they do it like that,
Big
but I
asses,
think
though.
subconsciously that's what happens because you didn't feel any type of pain. There was nothing for you to sit back and say, damn, I almost lost you. Because you just said, okay, baby, don't do that again.
I wonder if some people, because when cheating happens, the relationship does crack. It does suffer. And so then it's questions, it's doubt, it's trust issues. and so-
Insecurities.
And we know men don't like to be questioned. So it is.
You have to be willing to to go through those things, and I
Right.
mean, that brings us to another point for me. At some point, I'm gonna need you to forgive me. I mean, I'm not gonna deal with this every day.
At what point?
At some point, I don't know where.
Is
it
there like in your mind like a timeline? Like, oh my goodness, it's been.
I mean,
4
I'm
months.
not. I'm not gonna call you every 5 minutes that I go to the store.
Right.
I'm turning the corner. I can see Jewel sign. No, I'm not doing all of that.
Can I just interject here
Sure,
and tell you
absolutely.
something that a very close couple that I know, I'm close to, had a crack in the foundation, and they were in couples therapy, and the husband was saying, "I've apologized. I've said it so many times. I feel like I'm showing it. I don't know what else to do, but I'm just tired of apologizing for this over and over again." And the therapist told him, she said, "You need to be willing to apologize for as long as she needs to hear, 'I'm sorry.' If you're sorry, you cannot put a timeline on her healing. That is not your place. You don't have agency over her heart and her healing. What you had agency over was what you did. Now you
That's
asked,
true.
you asked for her to forgive you, and you all are sitting here. So she is making the steps to do it. But you can't say, 'I said I'm sorry, feel better. You're healed. Ding. Don't
Right.
talk about it again.' Not your place. It's wrong. It's selfish, and it's not ever going to bode well to bringing
It's insult to injury too.
it is the relationship back." And with that, he said he finally understood that. So what he did was he started to notice her body language. And maybe she didn't say it like I'm thinking about it, but he noticed her body language, and he would just go up to her without her saying anything, hug her and say, I am sorry. I love you. And let me just say this. Those instances got further and further apart, where now it never comes up. But because he had he understood what the therapist was saying. You don't.
That's good.
Yeah, it meant so much.
That's good.
I mean, that all sounds wonderful, but at some
It turned
point,
out to be wonderful.
and I congratulate them. I'm just not built that way. You know, at some point, because you know I'm going to turn into an asshole, and I'm going to apologize to you for 24, right? Or I'm gonna flip the switch, and I'm gonna every second for 24 straight out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm still sorry. I'm sorry from before. I'm sorry in the future.
You're being sarcastic about it, but you're not being
Oh, no, I
empathetic.
would
No,
do that.
no, no,
I would
no.
so do that.
But you're not being empathetic.
I
Because
am being empathetic because I'm gonna. There's a part where I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry, and okay, what do I need to do? And you know, ma'am, da 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 da. I'll get a pager if that's what you need.
if
know,
you would just get outside yourself and put yourself in someone else's shoes for 5 seconds instead of feeling like I've already said I'm sorry. I don't know what you want from me, and just understand
I'm
from
Don't cry on his shirt.
right.
Dry
Dry your tears.
I ain't never telling y'all nothing ever.
It's because we don't forget.
I
When
tell
you get
y'all,
through
but I ain't
crying.
telling them nothing. No, because I want to let America know what that's all about. And my thing is that if you're crying,
America, you can't have any emotions if you're a girl with this guy.
that's their version of the story.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you how I feel.
Zero.
I don't think that it's fair if we're talking about something that's substantive and you're crying. So I'm gonna allow you
This
to.
sounds so crazy.
I'm gonna allow you to get yourself together and stop crying, and we can talk about it. Because I can't cry. I can't be like, "Oh, it is bad, baby."
Cry.
You don't have to cry. You can listen.
You could, if you
No one's
wanted, if
asking
you
to cry.
felt like you wanted to cry, you could. What do you mean you couldn't cry?
I'm the man. I can't. I mean, I cry. Don't get me wrong. Let's not twist that. But,
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not gonna cry to get my way or to get my point across.
So do you think women cry to get their way and to get their points across?
I have 3 sisters and a mother. I absolutely believe that with all my heart.
Okay.
The point is, if you do something to your loved one, your person, and it is something that you want true resolve behind, but you hurt them, you're not them, so you have no idea the impact that it had. So you don't have the key to sew them up real quick and be like, okay, you're better. No.
You mean triage them?
Yes, you can't do that. You have to let them heal, but all you have to do is be supportive and be empathetic and loving.
I'm not.
And mean it.
I'm not saying I'm
And
not
not a jerk.
asshole was the word
Asshole.
I
I was
used.
getting ready to say
But
that.
Right.
But I'm not gonna be a jerk about it. But I'm not gonna let you milk it either. I mean, I'm gonna really try. If I say I'm gonna try, I'm gonna try. That's real. I'm going to really try to do the things. But if we talking about this 7 years later, no. You know, you're gonna forgive
That's
me.
why I said, what timeline is it?
You're gonna forgive me at some point what I deem to be reasonable, and each time is situational. I don't know the exact time and day, but I'm gonna do everything in my power. I'm gonna really, really, really try hard. I'm gonna let you know that I'm gonna speak much more through my actions than through my words. But if I'm just giving and giving and giving, and you're just beating me down with it all the time, no, I ain't doing all of that.
I can understand the beating down, but if a woman is staying with you after a big cheating,
I done had people like, man, okay.
And she's trying to work it out with
we
you.
trying to work it out. And we deciding if we should go to Papados or if we should go somewhere else. And she's like, you probably took her there. No, I want the big Swamp Thing drinks from there. I'm not a fan of Red Lobster. I'm not doing this. That was 5 years ago. Get over it. Come on now. Stop.
No one's saying 5 years ago, but yeah, I just feel like if you could not be, like, okay, well, I said I'm sorry, and that's it. You have to just be
But-
adult enough and mature enough to realize
But-
that there is a process that healing takes. It's not overnight,
But-
and it's not
but-
because you're tired of it.
I would pose the same question. What is a reasonable amount of time that I should continue to do all of these things, or really be trying to work at it, or giving it my all? Because it's hard for me to give something my all and I'm not seeing any progress. Every time that you want something or you feel put upon, you're bringing me back to where we were. That's not no.
So let me say this. People, not just women, cannot heal when they feel like they are being met
Pressure.
with pressure, sarcasm. So if you're feeling, if somebody is telling you during sex, like, hurry up and come, you're just probably going to be like, I'm not going to be able to come now
Right, because
because I feel pressure.
right.
Not an issue for me.
Okay, never mind. That was
But
the
you
best
get
analogy.
the you get the you
Yes,
get the
yes,
point.
yes, Kim, I understand what you
Okay.
said.
So it's just like there is, like Janae said, there is no, you can't make somebody stop grieving the loss of a loved one. You can't make somebody stop grieving their broken heart or the loss of a relationship that they thought they had.
But I look at it from a different platform. I think that you probably always grieve things. I think that you get better at coping with them. I think that, in the loss of a loved one, you don't ever like, man, I'm so cool with it, but you understand that I remember more of the good times. There's something, I'm still here. I still get to do this.
That's evolutionary, though. You evolve to
I'm
that.
not saying that I feel that way like 30 minutes after it happens, but there is an
You do realize that person's name is not Gary.
Really?
Right. So they are completely different, and they have their own feelings. You can't
But-
impose your desire to be forgiven and not
let's-
talk about something on them.
Let's flip it a little bit. I too have been the victim of cheating. And there was a part where I had to say, you know what, either I'm going to forgive her for this.
Dude, you were sitting back like, this karma. What you talking about?
No, I was not saying that. My little feelings was hurt. Like, how could you?
This is what I deserve.
You harder.
9, 10,
You
7,
whore.
wait, 700, a lot. With
No.
a lot of the number, right?
No. I mean, I was really put upon. I felt, and I had to, but for me to get through it, keyword me, because you all keep pointing to the fact that other people, but as the victim of it, I had to get to a point where I was like, I'm either gonna forgive her or I'm not.
That's true.
And I mean, I was, petty in ways that I probably shouldn't have been. I did drag it on. I did use it to my advantage in certain things.
You did buy a motorcycle.
I absolutely bought a motorcycle.
Yeah, did.
Yeah. And some suits. I mean, and some other. If I could have got away with more stuff, I would have.
Well, I'm just saying, I hope you never have this instance where you have to be, forgiven for a cheating infraction.
As we sit here today, I don't see that in my future, not even in my immediate future, or
You
in
feel
my,
like you've outgrown that?
I don't want to lie.
I was gonna say, because I feel like at this age, why do we need to cheat? Why can't you just say, listen, this isn't working. I care about you, and I don't
But-
want you out of my life, but I want to explore other options.
Well, I'll let you in on another secret about that. Men don't really go for that whole open relationship because they're not built to deal with that. And I'm not saying all men, but a lot of men are not, because, I mean, first of all, I've heard, men say that to their woman and she was like, bet. And he was like, what? Whoa. Well, I'm just playing, girl. Don't, wait. So men, in a lot of cases are not really wired that way. They say that they want it. But then it's like, I just thought it was some cool stuff. In theory it's good, but in practice not so much.
So again, it goes back to what she said earlier, selfishness. You want to you don't want this person to go anywhere, but you don't want to lose them either. So you want to keep your options open, but you don't want you're closing off theirs.
I don't necessarily look at it in terms of selfishness. I say it's maturity because in order to get what you want, you're going to have to give something. Anything that you're going to get that's worthwhile, you're going to have to put.
You
some
think
work
it's
in.
mature to close off somebody's options, to take away their freedom of choice?
But give yourself plenty.
One at a time. I'm thinking that it's mature that if you get to a point in your life that you need to be able to say that, hey, I'm capable of giving this to you, or I'm not capable of giving this to you, and as a consequence of taking this, I might get that. That's maturity to me. Now, I'm not saying that that's what I'm saying. That's maturity.
I don't know if I'm like I don't know about that one. Yeah.
I mean, you get to a point where you feel like, hey, I'm gonna deal with what I'm dealing with.
I just say break up.
If that's a choice,
Just break
that's a possible option.
Let that person go.
Yeah. Let them go and find the person that wants to be with them and just them. And that they can continue to pour into that person and not be, a hole in the bucket.
But more and more, I'm finding out that when those questions are getting posed, people are like, I ain't trying to give up my truck, or man, I like living here.
My truck.
I
I think when a person makes cheating,
materialistic.
no. I think when people make cheating a habit,
Cheaters.
that person is of low integrity, and they will usually wind up alone.
I've seen it work both ways. I mean, I don't.
You've seen what work both ways?
I've seen a person have, great integrity and, not be a very faithful person. I think that, one might not necessarily, you might not be faithful in your relationship, but you have a lot of integrity in most of the other, if not all of the other things that you do.
I mean, I'm not going to fight you on that, because there's some great people out there that have done some great things, but they were also very human. And when it comes to relationships, they had outside children and they had outside families. Yeah, but it doesn't take away or tarnish any of the work and the advancement for a group of people, a race of people, a culture of people.
A segment.
Yeah, it doesn't erase history. But I will say that the whole once a cheater, always a cheater thing, I feel like it takes work, and it takes a conscious decision that you want better, not just for the relationship, but for yourself. Like how you feel when you get up in the morning, who you are seeing in the mirror. Who am I and what am I? If you can't say, I'm a good person on the front and I'm a good person on the back, you got to figure out your middle on your own. It's not for the other person to do for you. It's not.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't want to lie no more. I mean, it's really that simple for me.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't.
And sometimes you just,
It,
I understand.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do too. Now that part right there, I'm like, that's maturity, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's golden.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So
This one was pretty spirited, ladies.
this might even be a good topic for an in-person event, maybe sometime in the spring.
Yeah.
So we could hear all of your opinions on the subject. But until then, please drop your comments, drop your ideas about cheating. Have you been cheated on? Have you been the cheater? Drop your comments
Are
and
you considering cheating anytime soon?
listen to this one. Let us know what you think. You guys have anything to share?
No, but I'm as we approach the holidays, I'm looking forward to it, and somewhere very soon our anniversary is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
And,
when is it? What's the date?
I don't know the exact date, but I do know
It's
that
actually in November.
I do know that some of the exciting partnerships that we talked about,
I think the 26th.
specifically the the non-alcoholic liquor. I think that we're gonna do that. We might use that opportunity to actually pop a bottle of champagne, non-alcoholic champagne.
Okay.
And for America, I don't know if you all know, but these ladies don't drink.
We don't.
No.
And I am currently not drinking. I will be drinking again on January 3rd.
What's the significance of January 3rd?
Well, I wanted to set a date that, because I voluntarily stopped, and I wanted to set a date. I didn't want to say January 2nd because then I'll get technical because on the first at like 12:01.
Right.
So I wanted to just choose a date that that was
Just an
not
arbitrary date.
just an arbitrary date that wasn't so far that it was going to be impossible, but wasn't so close that I could kind of play games with it.
Okay.
And so it'll get me through. I haven't had a drink now in probably 4 months or so.
Really?
Do you do stuff like that just to show yourself that you can do it?
Oh, I have to because you all know that I sold liquor for a great part of my life.
Yeah.
And I was always around it. And so, God really gave me the ability to drink. So I have to,
Did he give you that ability?
man, it's like a family trait, I promise you. And so I have to, take a step away from it just to reassure myself that I'm in control.
I get it.
And
Good for you.
and sobriety actually has some really, really, really fun parts of it. A lot of stuff, I'll wash a drink down and I'm more fun. That's the night I sing karaoke, blah, 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 blah. But being sober, I see things better. I hear things more. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit more attentive. I'm less likely to say or do the wrong things. So it's been a great thing for me. But I'm really looking forward to bringing some of that product on the show and having a drink with y'all.
Yes.
All righty. Well, okay, guys, we are going to sign off, but we appreciate you. We will see you next week, but definitely like this, share this, and if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe to Conversations Overheard at YouTube.
And go on YouTube and watch some of the older episodes and like them too, please.
They're good.
Yeah, a lot of stuff out there.
We do have some very good episodes.
We really do.
So thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week.
Absolutely.
Have a good evening.
All righty.
Good night.
Thank
We'll
you.
see Kimmy dancing in the beginning.
Dance, 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 dance.
Oh, that's if you're off tour with Usher. That's right.